This is Satish. Welcome to session 3 of Appium 1.6. So, as we discussed in the previous session, we were able to reach a stage where we did set up all the modules that are required to run Appium 1.6. So, and we were stuck at a point where we need to set up our Xcode project in order to run the WebDriver runner project on your device. So, so let's continue with that. So as we did in the previous session, so we did spin up a Appium instance in the console. So it will say welcome to Appium 1.6. Okay, so now we did make a couple of changes here. I've mentioned about those changes already. uh, let's try to connect to the device. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to connect to the device, and it was trying to build the WebDriver runner project, and it did fail, right? So if you see here, this is a project that we need to set up. Okay, uh, we can find the build location here. So this is our project. Okay, just go to terminal, open. So this will open up the project. Okay, so this project has many targets in it. So I'll show you what it all needs to be changed. Okay, in order to successfully build the app onto your device. So by default, the WebDriver agent lib is selected. So the first thing that you need to do is change your bundle ID. Okay, so before doing that, make sure you have your Apple ID added here. Okay, so just click on add Apple ID. Okay, and you just add your Apple ID. Click on sign in. So this will successfully add the Apple ID. So the another thing to note here is, uh, so your company might be having an Apple developer account. So hold on a second, I need to enter my access code. So your company might have a developer account. So your Apple ID should get an invitation from that developer account, so that you can actually build apps on the devices. So my Apple ID has been invited by our company, so I have access to the uh, company's developer account. So just waiting for the verification code. So I have already verified my Apple ID using the 6-digit code. So I'm going to add it again. So I'm going to add it again. I did add it before and I removed it for security reasons. So once you add it, previously we saw the verification code. I entered it, I removed it, and I've added it again. So now you'll start seeing your team details here. So that is what you need. Uh, so that will complete the Xcode setup part from the Apple ID point of view. So once that is done, so as I mentioned before, the first thing you need to do is you need to change your um, bundle ID to your that suits your whatever the bundle ID that is uh, assigned to your company or whatever. So you need to change it to something like com dot your company, something like that. In my case, it will be my company name. So what I'll be doing is I'll be changing it here. So enable automatic signing. Okay, so once you do this, your team should reflect here. Okay, so it'll generate the signing certificates and the provisioning profiles. Okay, so now this is the first step that you should do. okay, and this theme is mandatory. You cannot skip this step. You need to go to build settings here, just search for Facebook and see if you can find something. Nothing for WebDriver agent lib. The signing part, just search for signing. So it's already selected iOS developer, so leave it, don't change the settings, otherwise it will not work. I used to change it to my personal signing identity, so it used to work, but you can leave it like this, it will continue to work fine. So next you need to go to WebDriver agent runner. Again, here you do the same, okay, enable automatic signing. uh, Before selecting your team here, you need to go here and look for bundle ID. You need to make your bundle ID correction. Just change this to whatever your company name, and go back and select your company name, so it will repair it. So again, this will create whatever is required. um, Next, you go to unit tests. You do the same, just go to here. So this should fix it. Then go to integration tests and do the same, just change the bundle ID. Go back, communications. Next you go to integrated app. Here you need to change the bundle ID. So these are all the only things that you need to change. Nothing much, nothing rocket science about this. I've seen a lot of people complaining about how to do the Xcode setup, so this is pretty much very simple. uh, so I think we are done with all the Xcode setup, so and we should be good to build our project. So you can just select your iPhone and just say build it, enable, just say enter it. So now it started building your app, signing it, always allow. There you go, you are successfully able to build your project. So now let's go back to Appium and try to. So let's go back to our Appium screen. So this was the console that we used. So let's try to spin up one more instance. So what we'll do is, so as explained before, so let's spin up Appium instance here. Okay, so now this Appium is running here, so at port 4723. So now let's go back here. So when we tried before, when we tried to build the project, it was giving us error. So if you look at my device, so I don't have any of the app with the name WebDriver runner. So if I build it now, okay, if you see there are a bunch of things going on. I'll get back to this, but if you'll see the app getting built here, okay, and you'll see the app and it will launch it once the app gets installed on the device. There you go. So that's the WebDriver agent runner. So it launched it successfully. So this completes the project setup and successfully running on the device, and this completes your Appium setup. And if we go through these logs, it's pretty much straightforward. So if you see, this is the port at which it is running, and this is the capabilities that we passed. So these capabilities are basically passed from this GUI version. We made those changes before. Next, if you see, this is the available devices, it started creating, then it started looking for the IPA, so you have to give the right IPA location. Then what it did is, last time we got an error here because of the project errors. So now what it did is it tries to build the project. So Xcode build is used here. Okay, so this is a new change in Appium 1.6. It will try to build the app and puts it in test mode, and this is the destination, and it started. So you can find the log file here, and it has successfully built. And once it is done, this is a log statement which says detected that WebDriver agent is running at URL 10.4.150. This is the IP of the IP address of the device, and this is a WDA port on the device. And if you see here, there is one more log statement saying that I proxy to forward traffic from local port 8100 to device port 8100. So these are the three ports that play a critical role uh, in the upcoming sessions, where you try to run your Appium scripts on multiple devices from a single Mac. Okay, so this completes the Xcode setup project. Okay, so and also it completes your Appium uh, now let's look at the elements of Appium 1.6. What are the changes uh, and the modifications that it has gone through. So for that, let's spin up the Appium instance one more time. And once that is up and running, let's try to click on inspector again. So this will build the project. It is already built, so it will launch it. Then it will launch the application under test, that is our Safari launcher app. So it has launched it, and if you see, this is our screen. So you can just go and navigate and look at the elements. This is the major change from 1.5 to 1.6. So let's with Appium 1.6, the elements pretty much look like 1. Uh, the XUI element is what is added. You will see a lot of changes around the table views, all that. So we'll have one more session around this, where I'll highlight the differences between the elements of 1.5 and 1.6, and how you can actually migrate your existing Appium scripts to be compatible with 1.6. We'll write a simple Java code, uh, um, a superclass where you can handle this, and you can extend that to your driver class, so that whenever you find an element by name, by XPath, you can actually modify your XPaths, existing XPaths, to this XUI test path and make it work. So I think that solution is pretty much working for me in most of the places. So the other places, I've seen like some of the table views, this is where it's really gets challenging. The XPaths somewhere in the middle, so I'll see something called XUI element type other. So so these are some extra elements that gets added in the between. So that will create some problems, especially the table views. So we'll discuss that in detail in the next session. Okay, so see you again. Thank you.